That's 88. Sulabhaga Suvrataha Siddhaha Shatrujit Shatrutapanaha Negrodho Dumbaroshvattaha Chanurandha Nishudhanaha Sulabhaga Suvrataha Siddhaha Shatrujit Shatrutapanaha Negrodha Udumbaraha Ashvathaha Chanurandhra Nishudhanaha Sulabha, one who is easily attainable. Suvrataha, of excellent and unfailing vows. Siddhaha, perfection, fully self-accomplished. Shatrujit, conqueror of enemies. Shatrutapanaha, scorcher of foes or enemies. Negrodhaha, wheeling by his own Maya. Udumbaraha, nourishing the universe as food. Ashvathaha, the tree of mundane existence. Chanurandha Nishudhanaha, slayer of the wrestler by name Chanura of Kamsa. Sulabha, one who is easily attainable. The Supreme is readily available, easily accessible, and therefore easily attainable, but only for those who have true devotion and determination to put forward, to put forth the required right efforts in unveiling Him. Otherwise, He is hidden in the miserable pits of matter. To the mind in contemplation, the supreme reality is self evident. This is true of all great sadhakas who, because they have sadhanas, they are able to render their minds fully contemplative. Bhagavad Gita, verse 14 of chapter 8 says, Ananya Chetaha Satatam Yo Mam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Partha Nityayuktasya Yoginaha Ananya Chetaha Satatam Yaha Mam Smarati Nityashaha Tasya Aham Sulabha Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, Hey Parth, for that self, for that ever steadfast yogi, whose mind is constantly and continuously thinking of me without any other thought, for him I am easily attainable. He has excellent oaths, suvrataha, like he is always protecting his devotees and giving them liberation. Suvrataha means he has excellent vows, excellent sankalpa. He who has taken the most auspicious forms to destroy the evil and to protect the good. That is the only motive behind all his manifestations, what we call avataras. The seeker himself is one of the Lord's own manifestations to destroy the ego in himself and finally get back to the very state from which he apparently has manifested. This is actually what is called the rediscovery of the self. This is possible only for a person with a firm vow and continuous perseverance. The Supreme Being himself is one of total perfection. Siddhaha. Siddhaha means perfection. One who is embodiment of perfection. Mahavishnu is that state of absolute state of perfection, peace, which is called Siddhaha, which is called Siddhi. Since he has attained Siddhi, he is always called Siddhaha. When he is playing as an incarnation, his real nature of the eternal, unbroken, unchanging perfection is always with him. It is never separate. Now, being an embodiment of total perfection, really speaking, no one should be enemy. But if at all any enemy arises, he is easily conquered. So he is called Shatrujit. Shatrujit is a conqueror of enemies. Shatrujit is one who is ever victorious over any number of his enemies. Now, when we talk of enemies, in our own bosom, there are number of hidden enemies who are arising because of the passions of the flesh. These are traditionally called as a kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. This team, this is a very, very powerful team of very difficult to conquer forces, which are the real evils within ourselves. But when we seek our minds and heart towards the Supreme, and to the Supreme who is in our own heart, then all our obstacles simply wither away. Therefore, the Supreme is invoked as Shatrujit, the supreme conqueror of all enemies, both external and internal. Such a supreme being is a scorcher of force, Shatrutapanaha. When the devotee offers himself at the feet of the Supreme, at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, all the negative tendencies which are polluting our hearts simply burn down. As we just mentioned, these negative factors which are affecting us are many. They are called Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Although they are six in number, they are not different. They are not one different. The root cause is Kama, desire. When the desire is not fulfilled, it leads to Krodha. On the other hand, when the desire is fulfilled and we get what we desire, then we develop a sort of a lobha. We don't want to part with it. That is the third one. And these gradually lead to moha, a delusion that we are all powerful. This leads to arrogance, mada, and finally, it also leads to jealousy. If somebody has something more than us, matsarya, jealousy. Apart from that, we have abhimana. Abhimana is also sort of an arrogance, conceit, ahankara, that feeling of I, mamakara, feeling of mine. So these are the things which are the real enemies. All these also can be defeated under the kind grace of the Supreme Being. Supreme, he is not easily accessible and visible to us only because he is always wheeled in his own Maya, called Negrodha, wheeling by Maya, the one who, while controlling all the beings, is himself behind this Maya. The consciousness constantly functions within us, but due to the vasanas, our attention is constantly distracted, not to the supreme inside us, but to the objects outside. Our senses run after the sense objects. This perception towards the undesirable objects is the one which comes in the way. The- because of this, we are not able to see the effulgent being who is very much in our hearts. So we feel he is wheeled by Maya. Self, which is very life. The self is the one which has made life possible. Entire manifestation of the universe has come out of the self. Still, the Supreme Self, as a sort of a divine play, makes himself invisible, inscrutable, and consequently, we are not able to recognize him. The term Negrodha can also mean one who is above all, the nobler, the mightier, the more powerful consciousness which controls and regulates any and all organized set of activities. It is very difficult to be conceived by the human intellect. So, we normally say is we express something as much, much above, much beyond us. So, Negrodha, we say one who is far above us. He is actually not above, he is within us. Now, the Supreme Being is the one who is nourishing the universe as food also. Udumbaraha. He is nourishing the universe as food. He is the nourisher of all living creatures, supplying each one with its appropriate food. The term Udumbaraha also suggests one who transcends even the Akasha. Akasha, as we know, is one of the five Mahabhutas, five elements. Of these five, Akasha is the most subtle, which cannot be easily, which cannot be seen, which cannot be heard, which cannot be touched. It is not gross at all, like earth, to some extent water, to some extent Agni. Akasha is the subtlest of all the manifested elements. But Supreme is more subtle, he is subtler than the subtlest. So it's called Udungaraha. The Supreme, from which all is alone the great cause from which even the most subtle element, Akasha, has sprung forth. The cause is subtler than the effect. So, Mahavishnu is subtler. He transcends even the concept of space. Such a supreme being is depicted as the tree of life, Ashwathaha. Ashwathaha denotes the tree of mundane existence in the Kathopanishad and also in Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 15, the Supreme is indicated as the great tree of life, the Ashwatha. Ashwatha, the technical name is Ficus religiosa. It is a perennial tree, not exactly perennial, seemingly, relatively immortal. Because compared to the quick perishing mankind, the tree appears to be immortal. Because under the same tree, generation after generation of human beings come to play under its shade, to make love at its base, and to grow old in its breeze. Even when the generation, one even when the people are dead, their bodies are carried, say, in a moonlit procession to the burial ground, where under the tree, dancing leaves, a play of light and shade of ashes, you can a lifeless face can be seen. This, this beautiful description is from Vishnu Sahasranama by of Chinmaya Mission. Swami Chinmayananda has written this beautiful verse. It says, "The children of each departed one, their turn, repeat the unending cycle of life under the shade of the same old tree, whose nodding grimace mocks the procession of fleeting joys and sorrows." Now, the tree of mundane existence. Now, this particular tree has been chosen to represent the finite play of the infinite. So, the tree itself has been made Ashwatham. Ashwatham means that which will not remain the same tomorrow. That which will not remain the same tomorrow. Ashwatham in Sanskrit. Chapter 15 of Bhagavad Gita commences with this beautiful verse. It describes the tree ऊर्ध्वमूलम् अधःशाखम् अश्वत्थः प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्. Now it talks of the really wise people. Now they speak of the imperishable Ashwatha, what we know as giant fig tree. Now, unlike a normal physical tree, the tree which we are now visualizing as the relatively perishable but relatively imperishable universe, it is now shown top down. It is visualized as with root above, branches below, and its leaves symbolizes the hymns from the Vedas. Now he says, one who understands this symbolism, he gains wisdom of the Vedas. Urdhvamulam adhashakam ashvattah prahuravayam chandansi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedaved. The Supreme Being is described as slayer of Chanura, the wrestler. Chanurandha Nishudhanaha. Now, Chanurandha Nishudhanaha, the slayer of Chanura, the great wrestler. Andhra means wrestler. This refers to Lord Krishna, who killed the wrestler Chanura, sent to defeat him by Kamsa. Kamsa invites Krishna and Balarama with a devious, malified intention to Mathura. When they come to Mathura, when they come to his court, he invites them to have a wrestling match with two well built, almost asuras, Chanura and Mushtika. And these fellows were living disproportionately big and towering as compared to Krishna and Balrama, who were just small boys. But Krishna very easily killed Chanura. So also Balarama killed other wrestler Mushtika. So this is a reference to the Chanura. So Krishna is called Chanurandan Chudanaha. There is also one more interpretation which states Krishna killed the Asura by name Chanura, hailing from Andhra Desha. Maybe both the names are possible. Chanuranda Nishudanaha. With this, we conclude this verse. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Ma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti